Living in Venice is a dream come true for me. This is my window onto the world. I like to think of the Italian writer Italo Calvino's words on Venice when he says that while you are on the insula, you feel like you are on the smallest area of land, but as soon as you come out of the water door, you are connected to a borderless dimension which links you to the rest of the world.
My name is Déirdre Kelly. I was born in London, England, to an Irish family. Here we are today at San Marcuola in my studio. Venice is not one island, but a series of many islands. 120 insulae. Here we can see them cut out individually, their distinctive shapes being formed by the water. Much of my work revolves around the map of Venice, looking at how it developed, growing, seeming to me rather like a nest in the middle of a tree made up of the tributaries of water coming into the lagoon. Venice is situated in a lagoon surrounded by over 177 canals, the most distinctive of which being Canal Grande, with its S shape, looking rather like a fingerprint in the water. The map of the canal waterways exists in the minds of the gondoliers and the people who drive the boats around Venice, making the waterways navigable, rather like roads in normal cities. Here we see Canal Grande stretched out into a straight line. I very often work in the form of the book. Islands and bridges. If we look again out my window view, you'll see that once upon a time the main doors of the Venetian palazzos opened out onto the water. Notice also the bridge. There are nearly 500 bridges in Venice, making the city navigable by foot. In fact, many people think of Venice as a labyrinth, but one sure way of not getting lost is by following the water's edge. The map of Venice is made up of 6 different areas: Sestiere, Dossoduro, Santa Croce, San Pollo, Canareggio, San Marco, Castello. Thinking about a relationship between mapping and our mind, I thought about the fact that the brain is also separated in different shapes. So I thought it'd be fun to translate the map of Venice into the shape of our brain. Once you've made a tracing, you can move it over the map area underneath to choose the best shapes to match the best areas. Here I've left, obviously, some space to show the very distinctive Canal Grande. When it comes to cutting out, I like to use scissors. I choose the right size scissors for what I want to cut out. Keeping the scissors still and moving the shape around gives me a lot of flexibility. Sometimes I need to use a knife where there are more intricate areas or internal areas to cut out. Be aware that when you cut out a shape, you're left with both the positive and the negative. I like to use tweezers to hold the shape and find the best place to place it on my collage until I decide where I'd like to finally stick it down. Sometimes I don't use scissors or knife, but actually just look to tear the paper. Edges are very important, especially in collage, where one part of the image touches another, we get the dynamic relationship. Here, when you tear, you end up with this wonderful feathered edge. Some scissors are made to give you special decorative edges. Again, once you cut, you end up with two edges, and it's the juxtaposition of those two pieces which create the interest in the picture. The island of Burano here in the Venetian lagoon is famous for merletto or lace making, and I like to cut out the islands and look at how the shape of the island is determined by the water's edge. The story goes that while the women were waiting patiently at home for their men to return from fishing, they started making pieces of lace using their fine cut-out threads. In a way, the merletto, the lace, looking rather like a reflection of the fishermen's nets, floating on the water, as it is the water that determines the edge of the island and the island shape. Here my individual islands make up an isolario, a collection of small islands. I very often use a sketchbook to work out my ideas before taking them into a larger scale. Working small to work out your idea then allows you to take it to a larger scale.